Hello everyone, you join me whilst the sun is low in the sky. The Chinese peasants go about their daily work. The river gently goes on its course. In the meantime, Gongsun Zan moves to join his army. Facing an army of close to 5,000 enemy troops, he's amassed an army of 7,000 trained infantry, archers, heavy cavalry, all arrayed on the plains, ready to move into the forest. And he's been allowed to do so unmolested by his enemy. So we'll bring up some artillery and see whether we can tempt the enemy into battle on our own terms. As I've said, 5,000, close to 5,000 enemy forces, also a mixture of cavalry, infantry, archers, outnumbered, but in wooded terrain that can negate the cavalry superiority of their opponents, and the wooded terrain can confuse matters, allow for just a disorganized melee that could neutralize the advantage in numbers. But we will see. The artillery moving up. Let's put that onto flaming shot just to see whether we can persuade our opponents that sitting back isn't a wise thing. If they do decide to sit back, then that's not a problem. We will advance. I've deployed most of the cavalry onto this left flank in the hope that it will have some clear ground to work on. In the middle line here we have a variety of different spear armed units armed with halberds, essentially cavalry stopping blocks of infantry. At the moment, in front of them are the archers and soon to be artillery. Behind those two blocks of forces we have the sword armed, shield armed, really melee infantry, and we should be getting into a position now where our artillery can go to work. In particular, let's see if we can whittle down some of their archers. We are moving the artillery out beyond the protection of our troops, so if they do charge us we may have to drop these units and simply save the crew. But it'll be worth it to pull our enemy out of position. And as we can see from the UI, the enemy's archers are about to come in range. So we'll launch a few volleys, see if that tickles them enough to react. If it doesn't, then we'll advance the whole force. We'll follow the bolts in. Ooh. So our enemy is certainly reacting. More of a slight change in deployment than than the full advance I was hoping to trigger, so let's hold our formation, save for the artillery, and advance into the trees. It is a gorgeous Total War game. No criticisms on the visual front. So we've certainly inflicted some casualties, causing some consternation amongst the enemy, but not enough, I don't think, to get them to charge, although I could be wrong. Maybe we have. Let's hold, everybody.
Crossbow, stand by.
Just want to know what this unit is doing. Let's pull back the crew. Yeah, hidden cavalry. That was my mistake. Overconfidence, perhaps. Get back to the safety of our lines. And ultimately the enemy cavalry is not going to do much against those blocks of infantry. We need to regain some composure here now. Again, cavalry in the woods. The enemy advancing through the burning forest. And emerging from the brush onto the plains into a hail of arrow fire. And their cavalry trying to find a way around. And succeeding. Getting amongst our crossbowmen. Our own cavalry for now. Stationary, but there may be an opportunity to go for these archers. The question is, what else is hiding in the woods? Our own infantry pressed by theirs, but holding so far. Keep our sword arm troops in reserve. Obviously the trees are going to make our cavalry less efficient, but should still come out on top against enemy archers. I'm a little bit concerned about friendly fire, but I think we'll be okay. Yeah, our cavalry doing good work to clear out these enemy militia archers. They're not going to stand long, particularly against champion-led cavalry. Let's commit our fresh troops to the battle line.
One step closer to victory.
Over here. How's our cavalry doing? Yeah, they need to press on, finish their cavalry, finish their archers rather. So I now have perhaps some spare units to begin flanking, to begin breaking this this kind of ragtag battle line completely. See our fresh troops now, armed with axes and swords, getting in amongst their halberds and spearmen. Number of units grouped up over here, but we've got the tactical options now of outflanking. Our cavalry have kind of lost a bit of control of it. I think let's bring it back. Let's bring some order to the proceedings. Send in this organised unit into the flanks of enemy troops. Again into trees, so not as effective as they would be on the plains, but still. Now I'm going to stop our archers from firing, as I do fear we may be suffering friendly fire, and with the battle looking very one-sided now, I think we are in danger of taking needless casualties. The battle's ours to lose now, so let's not risk hitting our own troops. Let's send cavalry in there, sandwich those sword-armed troops. Over here, it's quite the melee, but it's not going to be decisive. Some enemy troops rallying and coming back to the fray. That's fine. You would expect some of that, and that's no problem at all. The original sort of version of the Radious mod, it was just simply too much. Whereas I think this submod has achieved kind of what I was hoping for, really, in that you know, when you do break a unit, sometimes they come back if circumstances allow, but a lot of the time, you know, it would take one hell of a leader to turn these men around and get them back into the fight. Not impossible, of course, not impossible, and you know, historically did happen, and you know, one of the key functions of an officer is to reorganize their men, get them back into the fray. You know, at the moment I've got in mind many of the U.S. Civil War battles, or maybe maybe thinking about the Napoleonic battles, where units would be reformed, reorganized, sent back in. Now then, I am going to let my cavalry in particular run down some of these units, because this was an open field battle, and ultimately I want to release my forces to be able to either to decisively conclude the campaign in the south or rush north. It might be that we try and do both, send one army north, keep our other army in the south, but in either case we need to mop up these troops, so I'll put it onto, I'll forward it. Come on guys, run them down. See, 110 infantry there. I really do I don't want to be fighting these units the second time around. That's it. Yeah, they don't. It's better than some Total War games. I forget which one it was. Was it originally? Was it Rome 1, where It was an absolute bugger to chase down fleeing troops. So it's definitely improved over that. Let's end that battle. Not Rome 1, sorry, I'm on about Rome 2. Rome 1 was absolutely fine on that front. I say that they may have split up. There could have been some jankiness actually in Rome 1. Yes, okay. So we lost 1,000 men, and yeah, maybe I probably did make a bit of an error in got a little bit ambushed by that cavalry, but yeah, not too bad at all. A nice big battle. So the battle was quite simple in comparison to our strategic problems. I think what we're going to do is continue to campaign in the south with this secondary army. Let's bring them this way, but I really don't want my northern territories falling one after the other to Gong Sung Du. So let's ride, let's force march north and meet our treacherous former friend in battle. We've got a reform, so let's have a look at our options here. Yeah, you know, all these good economic reforms, I just don't really feel the need to take them right now because we're in such a strong economic position. Libo, more trade influence. Does unlock repeating crossbowmen. Yeah, let's get that for now. The crossbowmen might be useful. So let's just have a look. Yeah, I know he's reached. Oh, sorry. Okay, so he's force marching. He can't really do much about that. And yes, I know they've reached their limit. But what I want to do is just see. Do we? No, don't disband. Don't disband. Just swap units. Do we have better troops available? See, these are just G militia, and they are not as good as these spearmen. So why don't we now swap out for these spearmen? What are these? These are mounted lancer militia. Let's swap these guys out for lance cavalry. Let's have a look. 73 melee toughness against 82. And I think the lance cavalry have got far more options in terms of their formations. So yeah, I've got plenty of cash. Let's splash a bit of cash. Again, saber militia, Dao sword guard cavalry. Let's go with the Jan sword. Their morale is better, and they may find themselves in being isolated occasionally, given my cavalry skills. So let's give them a bit more staying power. What have we got here? Mounted archers, those repeating crossbow units, and still just the medium. So these are medium bow infantry. These are light bow infantry. So 79 ranged power, only 48. Oh yeah. So I should have been. Perhaps I've been a bit slow on this, but hey, they've done the job up until now. And what about these guys? G militia. Oh right. So we've got these spear guards, and we could employ some more of these guys just for the sake of uniformity. Yeah, let's do that. So we've spent money improving this army. Hopefully, I mean, I may have made a mistake here in that they've got to now obviously replenish, but I'm hoping just because I've swapped units, I I won't suffer too much on that front. We'll see, we'll see. Let's upgrade here. Do have a little bit of a public order issue. I have to keep an eye on that. But that will do us this turn. Okay, let's see what happens. Just having another sip of tea whilst we watch the turn cycle forward. Come on. I think we actually just passed Gongsun Du, who is my treacherous northern neighbour. Yeah, so he hasn't attacked yet. Oh, a son has been born. Good, good. Liu Bei, many years ago you both studied under the tutelage of the scholar Liu Zi. Ever since we've been steadfast friends. And okay, that's just simply deepened. Clay Warrior ancillary. And so we've had this town upgraded, and we were going to add more labour to that province. The trading village has been upgraded. Let us upgrade this to a small city. The trading village is exactly the one that's at risk right now, and I'd like to explore upgrading these troops, but I really do just need to get north. And we've actually covered the distance in a decent amount of time. Actually, he's yeah, so he's got a full stack army, and if he hit me this turn, we are going to be tired in battle. So we have a bit of a risk, but he's lost his opportunity to just simply walk in and take the port. So down here, so we've got some units which are a little bit under strength, but it's not too bad, and they've been substantially upgraded. So here we have an enemy army which is depleted, and what's the garrison looking? Okay, so I think would probably be fairly similar in force size when you add the garrison in here. Maybe they may have a slight advantage actually. Again, I can't see any forces coming this way, so let's be aggressive. And can we besiege them? I doubt they'll go with the demand surrender, but let's be cheeky. No, they don't. Okay. So if we starve them out, bearing in mind they've got more. No, sorry, we've got more men. If we starve them out, we're likely to provoke them into a field battle. They may then charge us, and our archers, crossbowmen, artillery can go to work. Yeah, I'm going to...
This is what you train for!
Let's be a little bit cautious and stand on the defensive there. It won't take long for us to start whittling them away. And we are now a moderate strategic threat. Just noticed that. Maybe that's why people are starting to go to war with us, to try and keep us down. Try and stop our rising power in its tracks now. Yeah, nothing more to do there. Let's advance the turn. I am very... this is the bit I'm worried about, that he's going to come down and hit us whilst we're tired. But Yang Shao, so he wants military access, and is obviously giving us military access, and in return they'll give us a bit of money. Well, I'm going to, even if I didn't want to give them military access, I'm going to accept that just to keep our other neighbours happy, because I don't really want any more enemies piling in right now. How is... yeah, so that's one enemy who hasn't taken the offensive. Oh! Ooh. Oh, right, I thought he was coming down then. He's chosen not to. Right, down to the south we've got the sallying forth, which is what I was hoping would happen. Let's get into the battle and take a look at what we're facing. Take a look at the terrain. Yeah, I don't miss the voices in these pre-battle scenes, to be honest. In previous battle speeches, the Shogun ones, and previous games to that, they'd often say something about the terrain, and I don't find these messages to be as flavorful. So they're getting some reinforcements. They're actually on quite good defensive terrain. They've got a hill there with forest, but they are coming to me. If we time out, I win. So I'll tell you what, guys, I'm going to end the video here, and I'll set up my army, and then we'll rejoin once I've set up the army, got my deployables out, and then we'll watch the battle unfold. Thanks very much.